3, and we are live. No, we're not. Anyways, bit of a close-up for you guys. Now, if you know how to read, and hopefully you do, and you know anything about how these stupid blocks work, I think you can tell what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about my favorite gun in the world. My favorite gun out of everything. If I could only own one gun, I'd choose this. And that is the P90. Now, building this, I had a few struggles. First thing, its width is not actually one-on-one. This is actually 3 inches in this part, but that's just so I can get the magazine working, which I'm very proud of. Sorry, I have a lot to talk about the model. Included reflex sight, and the model itself is 26 inches long, which is 6 inches longer than normal P90. That's because this is the P90S variant, I believe. I should have looked this up before. Ow. The normal one is about 20 inches though, so this is a bit more of a big boy. And first thing when most people look at this gun is they'll see the ergonomics, which are very strange, because you got your trigger about here, you got your thumb hole, holster, no, not holsters, handle, and then your front grip. But when you actually lay it out, it's pretty conventional, honestly. It's non-conventional, but it's conventional. Don't ask. Now, as we are moving on from that, I want to talk about the P90's history. This is not your video. You know, I'm lucky I still have this thing installed. Okay. Set the scene. 1960s. The king of SMG is a little thing by the name of German brand called the MP5. Beautiful creation by Heckler & Koch. I'm going to proceed to say the name like that. Anyways, Heckler & Koch made this beautiful, beautiful design for SMG. Honestly, it's what stayed. It was practical, reliable, bit expensive, but if you wanted the best, it's what you got. Now, at the time, SMGs were becoming obsolete because of the advances in Kevlar armor and ceramic plates. Not really ceramic plates, mainly Kevlar. I don't know what I'm saying. So, what ended up happening is NATO needed a new gun. In fact, it needed a whole new weapon in altogether. Not really a submachine gun, more of a type of hybrid almost. Like a rifle submachine gun had an unholy baby. That unholy baby is the PDW, Personal Defense Weapon. Now, where this differs is it's made to destroy armor. This hurts my nails. 1986, Belgian manufacturer. FN Herstal, I have notes, started development of a revolutionary new weapon. I'm so livid. Now, to match a PDW roll, it needed to be compact. To get the most compact size, they went with the best configuration. Best configuration that you can go with when making a gun in most cases, because more compact. The bullpup. What a bullpup is, for those 2 people who don't know, not to bully, it is a gun with the firing mechanism behind the trigger. As you can see, the trigger would be up here, fire select, firing mechanism back here, ammo also feeds in from the back. And they did something interesting, because there had been bullpups, but most bullpups would feed something like this, which would be very, very awkward. Not really, but they had it so it slides in on top and is parallel to the barrel, which conserves space, and it makes it so that this can carry more rounds. You may be thinking, how does it load them though? Realistically, this would be 2 inches wide, so I'm sorry. It's something like this. When it's going down, you have this as the ammo pushing itself. And then at the end of it, it twists, kind of like a... It twists, and then it goes down a slope, goes into the gun, and it's fed. I think that's the best way I can explain it. Now, this gun is unique in many, many ways. It uses the most awesome polymers. It is an amazing caliber developed from the ground up as an armor-penetrating weapon. This thing is a good, ow, it's 5.7 pounds of sheer awesome. And honestly, it's cost sufficient. And, like a lot of other bullpup rifles, fully ambidextrous. Yes, I am a fully ambi shooter. I can shoot with my left or right arm. Same performance. Now, although ergonomics are unusual and not as conventional, after you get used to it, they're good. And like I said, fully ambidextrous, they even take it to the point downwards ejection of the shell. In the front up here, you would have the fire select, charging handle on both sides, and then a built-in reflex sight. Everything you would ever need is already on this thing. Of course, there are attachment points for things like flashlights and laser thingies and Bob Ross paintings, but aside from the last one, you don't need any of those things. Now let's talk about my favorite part of this thing. The cartridge itself. The 5.7 by 28. Special round designed for this. Designed all around defeating armor. In fact, it's compared to a rifle round because unlike being short and stubby like most pistol rounds are, it has a sleek neck connecting to the bullet and then a large thing back here for the actual propellant, which is unlike most pistol cartridges. In 1990, it was complete, hence the name 90. It meant FN Project 90. Yes. Anyways, this thing has everything you could want. Compact, armor-defeating capability, and 50 rounds in one mag. Some people compare this to a light machine gun. It obviously isn't. Not that far, though. I'd say you could use this as an assault rifle, honestly. Because we're getting ahead of ourselves. But for this to be a success, needed one thing. And you know what that one thing is? NATO's approval. They needed NATO to say, oh yes, like they should. Or should have, and adopted it. And adopt it. So, in 1993, the CRYSAT specification was passed. And the caliber was redesigned. And the center was changed from a plastic center of the bullet to a steel, or Stahl, tip, or center, or core, dipped in aluminium. You know, so it didn't have to be all steel. Nice construction, more cost efficient. And it also changed because of the specification, CRYSAT. It meant it would have to go through 1.6 millimeters of titanium, plus an additional 20 millimeters of Kevlar. And it had to do that all 150 meters away from the target. This gun is good at penetrating that armor, specifically 1.6 millimeters of titanium and 20 layers of Kevlar. That's annoying. All the way up to 200 meters. I know what you're thinking. They adopted the P90. It's the only obvious decision they could have made. Excellent gun, performs amazing, is amazingly reliable, and cost efficient? No. In the time, NATO wanted another a pistol to go with it, shooting the same caliber. Guess what? FN delivered the FN 5.7, shooting the 5.7 caliber. Who would have thunk it? Then, a rival by the name of Heckler and Koch came out of nowhere with the MP7. No. More conventional design, like a standard pistol loading machine gun, with the magazine going into the grip, the actual trigger area, while being compact, but also more ergonomic. Not as ergonomic, but it was more conventionally ergonomic. Both were tested extensively in the year 2002, so long ago. In the end, the 5.7 was chosen as the better one. It proved to test better and went through armor penetration and a lot of the tests, like I said, better. So you may be thinking right now, they obviously adopted it. NATO approved it for adoption, except one piece of crap. That piece of crap's Germany in this case, who vetoed it. Germany to this day is the reason there is no standard PDW caliber in NATO, let alone an actual standard PDW weapon. But by most NATO countries, they'll use the P90. Some use the other examples out there, like the MP7, insert another one here. But in the end, it's still used by police forces, yeah, police, and special forces all around the globe. So get that. This was amazing for television and film. One of the best movies it was in, The World Is Not Enough, James Bond. In end, amazingly reliable submachine gun. No, not submachine gun, PDW, personal defense weapon. Amazing in close range combat and in armor penetration. And it was so amazing because of how they developed it from the ground up. They knew what they needed, and they delivered. In fact, they delivered a bit extra. This gun is the gun that won my heart. My favorite gun. No matter what other gun you say, I prefer the P90. Now, sorry this video is coming out a bit late. Something happened, and a lot of personal things have been going on. This video is actually dedicated, and I'm going to talk about who it's dedicated to. I keep moving the gun back and forth. This video is dedicated to my best friend online. I wouldn't be here without him, and miss you, man. You'll always be in my mind. Never forget you. You were always there for me. This is for you, Kami. Favorite gun. Now that I've dedicated the video to Kami, I'd like to put on a little bit more of a serious note. Bit of a little thing. If you notice someone's going through something really hard, or they're going through a hard time, or if you yourself are going through a hard time, don't think that you're not enough. Because guess what? You aren't enough. You're more than enough. You are more than 100 times enough. Because your worth cannot be described. No matter how dark it feels, there are people out there who love you. So, on a serious note to end the video, it's Moscow. I'll miss you, Kami.